What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jovi,
It's your boy Sam.
and today we're going to be talking about The Last of Us, but not the game, the HBO series.
Episode 2. Let's get right into this, y'all. So, episode 2 starts off. I mean, it's a little bit after the ending of episode 1, which basically ended with them killing an officer to get out of the QZ, the quarantine zone, on their quest to take Ellie to the Fireflies in order to trade her for a battery to go get Joel's brother. So, at the end of that episode, they find out that Ellie is infected, but she hasn't turned.
Yep.
So Joel and Tess, they're very wary.
And yeah, they have their ups and downs.
Yeah.
Tess kind of is like,
yeah. So Tess is looking as like she's like, this is odd. You're not changing. This is interesting. Then they find out that she's basically they're taking her to scientists. Because I think it'd be a vaccine.
And it's like, well, I've heard this before.
Yeah. Joel doesn't really care about it. He's like, this is a hoax. We've heard it 1,000 times. It's not going to work.
Right.
Tess seems to be coming around. Now, again, the level, I love how, like, so it's funny. I know a couple people who played the game who seem to be upset that this isn't a frame-for-frame remake of the game.
That's weird. I haven't got that from anybody.
Yeah, no, people. Yeah, I've heard it, and I'm like, I would wholly disagree with that on anything.
They can't.
Yeah, that's it. I think that's dumb. But I and they're like really nitpicking stuff.
Right.
But like, I in that vein, I'm saying they did a really good job capturing like these moments in the game.
Oh, heck yeah.
Even the small changes they made, I really, really appreciate it. And the level of detail they went into with the research and everything.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta think about it, even back then with the game, like, I guess, this was 10 years ago, so I was just playing the game to play the game, but, like, the science behind it, the thing of how this could actually happen, like we were talking about in episode 1, like,
and then this episode has a more of a background of science, like you said, like so it's
that was cool. So you want to talk
stuff that we didn't get in the game.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
They're giving us this to make a actual story. Not saying that the game wasn't a story. That was an amazing story. This is giving you the full picture. So we end up in Indonesia.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, this is a scientist that works. Her whole life has been about these fungi, but it's a specific name for them, and she's basically like, it's over.
When she sees the infection, she's like, well, how many people were infected? I think they said there are 14
unaccounted for, and
she's like, all right, yeah, it's over.
It's over. She's like, bomb the city, which is so great because in the episode, Ellie's like, oh, is this where they bombed the city? And she was like, and Tess was like, yes, every major city got bombed. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, this is
great. It's I love the in Indonesia. Notice how they said it was in it got started in a flower factory.
Yeah,
and she said that's like the perfect I forget what word she used, but like the perfect conduit for the disease. And then me and Jovi, after our review last week, we kind of saw like this dude do a recap, and you notice how Indonesia's the flour exports is basically how it got into the United States.
You see it on the news. You see Joel doesn't eat his pancakes.
Yeah, he doesn't eat his pancakes. They don't have pancakes. He doesn't get a cake for his birthday. Like
they can't get the biscuits or cookies or something.
Yeah, they didn't eat. Yeah, the old lady who got infected. Remember, they were eting biscuits.
Yeah.
So it's just like they were so close to getting infected by this flour, and it didn't happen. And that's just really cool.
It's like to think because flour and gluten to this in everything.
Yeah, man.
So if this was something that would happen, it would spread like wildfire.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy. Something else that I thought was cool. So we got more Ellie time this episode, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
I'm loving the actress. I'm loving the way she plays her. Yeah. But just going back to the science a little bit, they explain how differences between the show and the game. In the game, you could walk into a room, right, and there would be like these spores in the air. And that's how like if you get hit by the spores, you're gonna die.
Right.
Because you'll get infected unless you're playing as Ellie. But in the game that works, and I was watching behind the scenes on why they thought about this. In real life, spores aren't gonna just stay in a room, right? They're gonna spread.
They're gonna be everywhere.
So they're like, that doesn't really work for a show that's trying to be as real as possible. So they changed it. Now it's the fungi like on the ground, like just how fungi is in real life. They're all connected. So if you step on a piece of fungi like in area A, 10 miles away, like some infected will know exactly where you are because all the fungus is connected. It's amazing.
That change I was very open to.
Yeah,
instead of the military getting chased. Anyone that's played the game, you're gonna hear things that we say and you're like, okay, yeah, I remember that. Instead of the military, the infected come, and that's why Tess. That's when Tess kills her.
Oh yeah. So
it's
Tess did not. I mean, it was funny. I was watching this with someone who hadn't played the game, and they're like, "What? She's gone already?" And I was looking at it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right." I was like, "You don't know." Tess did not last long in that game. Shout out to her. The actress played her very well. And yeah, just again in even in this, so they are in the is it the museum they're in?
Yeah,
they're in the museum this episode. In the game, this is where you encounter your clickers, just how they encountered clickers for the first time.
Oh my god!
Which they were designed perfectly for the series.
It was more terrifying.
Yeah,
to watch them in real life.
Yeah, they were like they're just as difficult to kill as in the game. Like shooting them doesn't work. They're running around trying to avoid them until they just can't.
I love that. Oh, I love that. He
Yeah,
shot him with a whole M16, and that joint wasn't going down.
Yeah, headshots. That's it.
You
got to do the headshot.
If you know, you know, and that's.
But again, in the game, there was a whole bunch of them. In here, there were only 2.
Yeah.
And I love that because again, it's so real. You're not gonna survive 5 or 6 clickers in real life. In the game, you can get swiped and then your health bar will go down a little bit. You get swiped in real life, you're gonna die.
Yeah, so they find a body and it's all tore up.
Yeah.
And Ellie says, "I've encountered these before. Like, and I've encountered the infected before. They don't hurt you like this." So I was like, "You don't look like this." And Tess and Joel look at each other like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
Like, they knew exactly what it was. Even when she mentioned, "Oh, there's so many stories, blah, blah, blah." There's infected with their heads split open. And they look at each other. I'm like, yo. I was like, they're not going to give us clickers. They're not giving us clickers a second episode. We got clickers in the second episode.
Yeah, man. It's dope, bro.
It's moving.
Seriously. It's moving along. And it's not, like, again, this is why I think series are they're much better interpretations of video games than movies. Because it's moving along, but there's still time for, like Jovi said, like at the beginning, to see this backstory we didn't get. We're getting extra moments in this, 10 hours. I think it's 9 or 10 episodes this season, but whatever. For this season, we're getting all this stuff.
You can't do that in 2 hours.
Yeah, it's impossible. And again, the characters are so good. Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey, Anna Torv is Tess. They were all good. It's like you see Tess literally be like, you know what? Like just like in the game, it hit me again. She's like, look, just save her. Just do it. All right. When Tess, when she knows she's about to die, she's like, look, this is hope. We have hope. And it seems like we don't even know that much about Tess really. Like, we don't know anything about her backstory, but like you can tell she's been hardened. I mean, and she swears like a sailor. And she doesn't really seem to care too much about anything outside of Joel. Even in this episode, she says, "Yeah, we're not good people." Like, she admits it
straight up.
So, like, to see this like redemption in her character, even in just these 2 episodes, it was really well done, really well written, and really well acted. And the showrunners are just. I mean, I'm gonna have to go watch Chernobyl now. Like, I haven't seen it. Okay. I'm gonna have to go watch it. Like, it's very well done.
I mean, that statement, like, they're not good people, and it's like.
I mean, they're not.
You're not. But you play the first one, and you have this just connection with Joel and Ellie, and then you play the second one.
There might be a second season. Don't spoil it.
No, don't spoil it for everybody. And then you're like, you have these connections with these characters, but in reality, it's like they're not.
Oh yeah. And the second one, I guess what you're gonna say, it shows they're not good people. Because we see them from a certain perspective, but in the second game, it kind of changes perspective.
They're really not. It's like
Ellie and Joel, like they're not.
Ellie's not even good. Like, because she learns how to survive from him. Yeah, and it's like. When we see her kill for the first time, it's going to be very interesting. And I'm sorry if that's a spoiler for anybody. You would expect her to have to kill
during
a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, she's gonna shoot a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's really good. Still loving the episode, or loving the series, I should say.
Yeah.
This episode was, I mean, I think it was a little, definitely shorter.
Oh,
and it was a little. I guess it wasn't as I was about to say it wasn't as intense, but no, the clickers scene
were enough. Yeah,
that was crazy.
And if you're gonna give me that, if this is how they're gonna go, if they're gonna go like the pace of the first episode, and they're gonna go like the pace of the second episode, should give me either or.
Yeah, I'm good.
I like it. I like that.
I'm loving it.
But that's what it felt like. I mean, you always have that one big intense level moment. That's video game design, and they're capturing that.
Yeah. One other thing I do want to point out. I don't know if it's CGI, but the set design is amazing. The production values on the show are they're like Game of Thrones level. Like, I need to know what the budget was. It's incredible. It just looks so good.
Even looking at the comparison, I tell you, I can't tell the difference sometimes because they're doing shot for shot of like the cityscapes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, did they actually go take photos of the city and then just like degrade them in computer, or this is all made digitally?
I think it's all made digitally.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. That's a good question. But yeah, it is. It's very, very good. It's very pleasing to look at. Even the infected, with the stuff coming out their mouths, the fungal stuff. Like, I mean, that's new to the series too. It's all good. I'm loving changes, and I don't normally say things like that. But it seems like they know what they're doing. So
this because at the end of the day, this is my last statement. You got the people that made the game make the show. Why is that so hard, Hollywood? And I'm ending it at that.
All right. So, episode 2, let us know what you thought right down there. And yeah, come back next week when we talk about episode 3, y'all. But until then, we out.
Deuces.